We are back, joined now by the head of the Tea Party Caucus in the House of Representatives, Republican Congresswoman from Minnesota, Michele Bachmann. Welcome to Meet the Press.
Thank you, David.
Let me ask you about some Tea Party criticism of Speaker Boehner over how far the cuts have gone. The USA Today reported on this on Friday. I'll put it up. Tea Party leader blasts Boehner over cuts. The founder of one of the largest Tea Party groups said House Speaker Boehner looks like, quote, a fool because he has not cut enough from the budget. Judson Phillips, founder of the Tea Party Nation, Boehner's inability to negotiate, he said larger cuts should prompt the Tea Party movement to run a candidate against him in 2012 in a GOP primary. The Tea Party movement sprang up in 2009 as a reaction to insane government spending, Phillips wrote on his blog on Wednesday. In 2010, the American people spoke, demanding change. Everyone realizes that the level of spending cannot be sustained. John Boehner did not get that message. Has Boehner failed the Tea Party?
The main message that's going across the internet today among members of the Tea Party, they are outraged about this $105 billion that was deceptively put in the Obamacare bill.
Congresswoman, you made your point. I'm asking you a direct question here about whether you think, as head of the Tea Party caucus, whether Boehner has failed to live up to the Tea Party's expectations.
I think what we are trying to do as Republicans in the House is look for every place we possibly can to cut spending. We've identified $100 billion in cuts off of the president's proposed budget, $60 billion if you compare it to the 2010 budget. So we have done our part to look for cuts, but we can't end there. We have to also demand that we claw back the $105 billion that was deceptively already appropriated by President Obama.
The Speaker has said that it would be irresponsible not to raise the debt limit, as will be called for soon. Will you agree with him on that and do that?
I am not in favor of raising the debt ceiling. In the last 10 years, we have raised the debt ceiling 10 times. We are just giving the Congress a license to keep on spending. And one thing the American people are demanding, because they want to see jobs created, they want to see the economy get on a good footing. In order to do that, government has to take less so that the American people can keep more.
The issue of the Tea Party and backlash among voters against the Tea Party is an interesting area because conservatives and certainly leaders and Tea Party folks have said, look, there was a mandate from the 2010 election, and that was to cut spending. And yet you have this from analysis from our Wall Street Journal NBC News poll written by the Wall Street Journal on Thursday. Among those most fearing spending cuts, they reported, were younger voters, independents, seniors, and suburban women, groups that include many swing voters in national elections who potentially could turn against the GOP. Quote, it may be hard to understand why someone would try to jump off a cliff to solve the debt crisis, pollster Mr. Bill McInturff said of his fellow Republicans, unless you understand that they are being chased by a tiger, and that tiger is the Tea Party. Is the Tea Party chasing the broader GOP off the cliff?
You know, I think that the political left has been very afraid of the Tea Party movement because it is not necessarily political. It's not Democrats or Republicans. It's made up of a very broad-based coalition. It's made up of people who want the country to work again. They believe that we're taxed enough already, the government shouldn't spend more money than what it's taking in, and that each of the three branches of government should act within the jurisdictional limitations of the Constitution. That's a broad-based group of people. They just want our country to work again, and I think that that coalition is hanging together more strongly now than ever.
Let me ask you about 2012. There's talk that you're considering a run for the presidency, and I wonder what you make of how people react to you. A lot of people think that you are an extremist, somebody who, you know, as you've done in the past, called the administration a gangster government, is far more interested in fueling anger than becoming something of a consensus politician who can attract widespread support. How do you react to all that?
I haven't made a decision either way about plans for 2012. What my concern is that our country move forward and that we regain a sound financial footing. I don't believe that Barack Obama has done a good job as President of the United States. I think that's bared out statistically on everything from anemic job creation to the out-of-control spending and deficits. The economy is simply not improving. Just consider the day before the president took office, gasoline was $1.83 $3 a gallon. There are places today in the United States where it is over $4 a gallon. It didn't help that the president had the Interior Secretary cancel 77 oil leases as soon as the president came into power. We can do so much better, and that's what I'm talking about with people in the next few months. We need to think very strongly. A second administration of Jimmy Carter wouldn't have done this country any favors. We need to make sure we don't have a second Barack Obama administration.
You've referred to the Obama administration as a gangster government. You've said that this president has anti-American views. Do you believe that still?
I believe that the actions of this government have been emblematic of ones that have not been based on true American values. Just consider Obamacare. Over 900 waivers have been given out to unions and protected special interests.
Is it appropriate to refer to the government as a gangster government and to question whether this president loves America?
Well, I said I do believe that actions that have been taken by this White House, I don't take back my statement on gangster government. I think that there have been actions that have been taken by this government that I think are corrupt,
and you think the president has anti-American views?
Well, I've already answered that question before. I said I had very serious concerns about the president's views, and I think the president's actions in the last 2 years speak for themselves.
When will you decide about a run for the presidency?
I think there's a normal course of events when a decision like that will be made, and if I choose to go down that road, I'll make the decision.
Congresswoman Bachmann, we will leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As always, thanks for viewing. You can follow me on Twitter at @IamBrianBeach. You can friend me on Facebook at TalkToBrianBeach, or you can visit my blog at sociallyblogwords.blogspot.com.